They say revenge is a dish best served cold. What they don't tell you is how satisfying it tastes when someone destroys their own life while you simply watch. I'm Tyler Grant, 31 years old, corporate accounts manager. The kind of man who still believes a handshake means something and that keeping your word isn't negotiable. 5 years ago, I married Madison Carter when she was 23. Fresh-faced, ambitious, working as a marketing coordinator at some startup downtown. She had dreams then, real ones. 2 years into our marriage, Madison quit her job. Said she wanted to build our home, focus on us. I didn't argue. Hell, I was proud. My wife wanted to be a wife. In a world where everyone's chasing the next promotion, the next dollar, the next validation hit on social media, Madison wanted something simpler, something real, or so I thought. I bought our house 6 months before I proposed, a modest 3-bedroom colonial in a decent suburb, nothing fancy but solid. Good bones, my father would have said. The deed's in my name. I put down 20%, been making payments for 6 years now. Madison moved in after the wedding, made it feel like home with her touches. Throw pillows, candles, family photos on the mantle. We've got 2 cars, my reliable Honda Civic with 140,000 miles, and Madison's Nissan Altima that I bought her for our first anniversary. Both paid off. No debt except the mortgage. I work 50-hour weeks managing corporate accounts for a mid-sized firm, bringing home enough to cover everything we need and most of what we want. Madison manages our life. Grocery shopping, cleaning, social calendar. The 1,000 little details that keep a household running. It was a good life. Simple, honest. Built on the foundation that I'd provide and she'd manage what we were building together. We talked about kids. When the time is right, Madison always said when I brought it up. When we're really ready. I figured she meant financially ready, emotionally ready, the practical considerations young couples discuss. Looking back, I realized Madison kept moving those goalposts. Every time I brought up starting a family, she had a reason to wait. Just a little longer. Just until this or that lined up perfectly, I should have paid attention to the shift. It started about a year ago with her friend group, Ashley, Brittany, and Jen. 3 stay-at-home wives who turned lunch dates into careers and Instagram posts into full-time jobs. At first, I didn't mind. Madison seemed happy, fulfilled. She'd come home from their coffee dates energized, laughing about inside jokes I didn't understand. But something changed. The girls' nights became more frequent, twice a week, then 3 times. Madison started using phrases I'd never heard from her before. Financial independence, living my truth, empowerment. She'd scroll through Instagram for hours, showing me pictures of women on vacations I couldn't afford, wearing clothes that cost more than our monthly grocery budget. Look at Sarah's trip to Santorini, she'd say, shoving her phone in my face. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it's nice, I'd respond. Must be nice to have that kind of money. We could have that kind of money, Tyler, she'd reply with growing excitement. We just need to think differently about opportunities. I'd nod and change the subject. I figured it was harmless. Friends comparing lives, dreaming about bigger things. Everyone does it. 3 weeks ago, Madison barely touched her dinner. I'd made her favorite, chicken parmesan with garlic bread. But she sat there texting frantically, her plate growing cold while her thumbs flew across her phone screen. What's so important? I asked. She didn't look up. Girl stuff, she replied dismissively. You wouldn't understand girl stuff. 5 years of marriage reduced to, you wouldn't understand. I finished eating in silence while Madison giggled at whatever was lighting up her screen. When I started clearing dishes, she finally put the phone down. Ashley's doing really well with her new project, Madison said, like I'd asked. What kind of project? I questioned. Just online stuff. Business stuff, she answered vaguely. Evasive? Madison used to tell me everything, every detail of her day, every conversation with her friends, every random thought that crossed her mind. Now I was getting business stuff. That night, I lay in bed listening to Madison giggle in the bathroom. Light from her phone screen leaked under the door for 2 hours. 2 hours. Whatever conversation she was having, it was more engaging than anything we'd talked about in weeks. I didn't think much of it then. I trusted her, completely, absolutely. The way you trust someone you've built a life with, someone who chose you and keeps choosing you every day. I was an idiot. Thursday evening, tonight, I'm on the couch watching the Lakers game, my usual after-work ritual. Beer in hand, feet up, unwinding from another long day, managing difficult clients and impossible deadlines. Madison left for girls' night 4 hours ago, kissed my cheek and said she'd be home by 10. It's almost 11 when I hear her car in the driveway. She enters with energy I haven't seen in months, practically vibrating with excitement. Eyes bright, movements quick and animated. I mute the TV, study her face. This isn't the tired contentment of a good evening with friends. This is something else entirely. Madison sits beside me on the couch, phone clutched tight in her hand like it contains the secrets of the universe. Her leg bounces. She can't sit still. "Ty, I need to talk to you about something important," she says, breathless with excitement. Something that's going to change everything for us. Change everything for us. I should have known by the look in her eyes. That wasn't excitement about us. That was excitement about her. And I was about to find out just how little I mattered in her plans. "I'm starting an OnlyFans account." The words hit like a physical blow. My stomach drops, hands go cold, the sensation of watching something precious shatter in slow motion. I stare at Madison, my wife, the woman I've built a life with, and for a moment, I don't recognize her. "What did you just say?" I manage to ask. Madison's excitement doesn't dim. If anything, she leans forward, more animated. "OnlyFans, Tyler," she explains eagerly. "It's a platform where women can—" "I know what it is," I interrupt, my voice sounding strange, distant. "You want to post naked pictures of yourself online for strangers to jerk off to?" She flinches at my bluntness, but recovers quickly. "It's not like that," she insists. "It's empowerment, Tyler. Financial independence. Ashley's making $3,000 a month just posting photos." $3,000! That's more than I made at my old job. Ashley. Of course it's Ashley. I should have seen this coming the moment Madison started spending time with that woman. Bleached blonde, fake everything. Married to some poor bastard who works 2 jobs to fund her lifestyle while she plays influencer. "So this is what your girls' nights have been about?" I ask, pieces falling into place. "Planning this?" "Planning my future." "Our future," Madison replies, eyes shining with that evangelical fervor people get when they've found their new religion. "Tyler, we could pay off the mortgage early. Take that vacation to Europe you're always talking about. I could contribute again instead of being dependent on you. Dependent on me. Like our marriage is some kind of burden she's been carrying instead of a partnership we built together. You want to contribute?" I respond. "Get a job. A real job." Madison's expression shifts from excitement to irritation. "A real job?" she counters. "Folding clothes at Target for $12 an hour? Filing papers in some office? Tyler, why would I do that when I can make real money doing this?" "Because real jobs don't involve selling access to your body online," I answer firmly. "My body, my choice," she fires back. The phrase rolls off her tongue like she's been practicing it. "You don't own me, Tyler. You're right. I don't own you," I reply, standing up, needing to move, needing space. "But I married you. I made vows to you. I thought you made them to me too." "This doesn't change our marriage," she starts. "Like hell it doesn't." I cut her off, the anger coming now, clean and sharp. "You want to post intimate photos for strangers to buy, rate, comment on, save to their computers forever. You want to chat with them, take requests, build relationships with men who see you as a commodity. And you think that doesn't change our marriage?" Madison's voice rises, defensive. "You're being dramatic," she argues. "It's just photos, Tyler. It's not like I'm sleeping with them." "Just photos," I laugh, but there's no humor in it. "Madison, these men will know what you look like naked. They'll have your pictures forever. They'll share them, trade them, post them on other sites. You'll never get that back, never." "So what?" she challenges. "Women have been shamed for their sexuality for centuries. I'm done with that. I'm done being ashamed of my body." "This isn't about shame," I respond. "This is about respect, self-respect, respect for our marriage, respect for the life we've built." Madison stands too, gets in my face. Respect? She demands. Tyler, I've been your housewife for 3 years. I clean your house, cook your food, manage your life. I haven't worked, haven't contributed financially, haven't had my own income. Do you know what that feels like? Do you know how small that makes me feel? The accusation stuns me. You asked to stay home, I remind her. You said you wanted to build our life together. I thought I did, she admits. But I'm 28 years old, Tyler. I need more than this. I need to feel valuable, important, like I matter. You matter to me, I tell her. That's not enough anymore, she declares. The words hang between us like a death sentence. Not enough anymore. 5 years of marriage, of building something together, of choosing each other every day. Not enough anymore. Then get a divorce, I say quietly. If I'm not enough, if this life isn't enough, if you need validation from strangers online to feel valuable, then leave. But don't ask me to stay married to someone who's selling herself online. Madison's confidence wavers for the first time. Tyler, you're being ridiculous, she protests. Lots of women do this now. It's normal. It's accepted. Not by me, I state firmly. You'll get over it, she says with casual dismissal. The casual dismissal hits harder than her initial announcement. You'll get over it. Like my feelings are inconvenient obstacles to her self-actualization journey. Like the boundary I'm drawing means nothing. Like I mean nothing. No, I say quietly. I won't. Madison studies my face, maybe finally seeing something that scares her. Tyler, I've already set up the account, she reveals. I'm launching next week. This is happening. Already set up. This isn't a discussion, it's an announcement. She's made her decision and expects me to fall in line like a good little husband who knows his place. Then pack your bags, I tell her. What? She gasps. You heard me, I repeat. You want to post naked pictures of yourself online for strangers to jerk off to? You want to build intimate relationships with men who see you as a commodity. You want to prioritize validation from strangers over your marriage. Fine. But you're not doing it under my roof as my wife. Madison's mouth opens and closes like a fish. This isn't going according to her script. In her version, I was supposed to sulk for a few days. Maybe give her the silent treatment, then grudgingly accept her empowerment journey because I love her too much to leave. You're giving me an ultimatum? She asks incredulously. No, I correct her. I'm stating a fact. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. Madison's voice gets shrill, desperate. Tyler, you can't be serious, she pleads. You're going to throw away 5 years of marriage over this? I'm not throwing away anything, I answer coldly. You are. I grab my pillow from our bed, walk to the guest bedroom, lock the door behind me. Through the wall, I hear Madison pacing, her voice rising as she calls Ashley. He's being such a baby, I hear her tell Ashley. He'll get over it. He has to. Where else is he going to find someone like me? That laughter, dismissive, confident, certain of her power over me, cements something cold and permanent in my chest. My wife just told me my feelings don't matter, my boundaries are negotiable, and my marriage vows mean nothing. She thinks I'll cave because I always have about smaller things. Dinner choices, weekend plans, social obligations. She's wrong. I lie awake all night, but there's no anger now. Just cold, crystalline clarity. Madison chose strangers on the internet over her husband. She chose easy money over hard work. She chose validation from perverts over respect from the man who loves her. By dawn, I have a plan. She fell asleep thinking she'd won. I lay awake planning her divorce. By the time she woke up, I'd already decided exactly how this would end. She just didn't know it yet. Friday morning. I wake at 6, shower, dress for work like any other day. Madison's still asleep, probably exhausted from her late-night victory lap with Ashley. I leave without saying goodbye. The first of many calculated silences. At work, I attend my 9 o'clock meeting on autopilot. Marketing presentation about Q4 targets, quarterly revenue projections, the usual corporate theater. My manager asks my opinion on the new client retention strategy. I give him something coherent enough to satisfy. My mind is elsewhere. 10:30, I walk into his office. Family emergency, I tell him. Need a half day. David Peterson has been my manager for 3 years. Good guy. Understanding about work-life balance. He doesn't ask questions, just nods. Everything okay? He asks with concern. Will be soon. I answer. Approved immediately. I clear my desk, grab my jacket, drive across town to Robert Klein's office. My recently divorced coworker, Jake, recommended him after his own messy separation last year. Klein's expensive but worth it, Jake had said. Doesn't mess around. Gets results. The law office sits in a renovated Victorian downtown. All dark wood and leather-bound books. Robert Klein is exactly what Central Casting would order for a divorce attorney. 50s, silver hair, expensive suit. Eyes that have seen every variation of human betrayal. Tyler Grant, I say, shaking his hand. I need a divorce. We sit in his office overlooking the courthouse. Ironic. Robert pulls out a legal pad, clicks his pen. Tell me about your situation, he requests. Married 5 years. No kids. Wife wants to start an OnlyFans account. I said no. She said I don't get a say. I want out, I explain with clinical detachment. Robert's expression doesn't change. He's heard stranger things. Any jointly owned property? He asks. House is mine, I reply. Purchased 6 months before marriage, deed in my name only. Cars are paid off, both titled to me. I've been the sole income for 3 years. Shared bank accounts? He continues. Joint checking and savings, but I'm the only one who's contributed, I answer. I've got statements going back 5 years showing every deposit came from my paychecks. Any debt? He inquires. Just the mortgage. No credit cards, no loans, I confirm. Robert leans back in his chair, almost impressed. This is straightforward, Mr. Grant, he observes. No children, no shared assets, no commingled property. You keep the house, your vehicles, your retirement accounts. If she contests, we cite irreconcilable differences. If she cooperates, we can expedite. 30 to 60 days. Relief washes over me. Not relief from sadness, but relief from uncertainty. I have a plan. I have a timeline. I have control. Draft the papers, I instruct. I want this done fast. Robert pulls out a contract. My retainer is $5,000, he explains. Total cost depends on complexity, but for an uncontested divorce with these assets, you're looking at $8,000 maximum. I write the check without hesitation. Best money I'll ever spend. One question, Robert says. Any chance of reconciliation? Sometimes people say things in anger. None, I state firmly. Robert studies my face, nods. I'll have papers ready by Wednesday, he promises. How do you want her served? I want to be there when it happens, I tell him. Most people prefer, he begins. I want to see her face, I interrupt. Robert makes a note. Saturday morning work for you? He asks. Perfect, I confirm. I drive home that evening feeling lighter than I have in weeks. Madison's on the couch scrolling through her phone, same position as yesterday, probably researching OnlyFans strategies or chatting with her enabler friends. Did you come to your senses? She asks without looking up. I don't respond. I heat up leftover Chinese food, eat in silence, wash my dish, head to the guest bedroom. Madison follows irritated. Seriously? She demands. You're going to pout like a child? I close the door without a word, lock it. Madison pounds on it, demands we talk like adults. I turn on the TV, drown her out. Eventually, she gives up. Through the wall, I hear her calling Ashley. He's being such a baby, she complains to her friend. He'll get over it. They always do. More conversation I can't make out, then laughter. Yeah, he thinks he's teaching me a lesson, she continues. Like I need his permission to live my life. Every dismissive word, every laugh, every assumption that I'll cave makes my decision easier. Madison has no idea she's talking to a man who's already gone. Mentally, emotionally, legally, I've already left. I'm just waiting for the paperwork to catch up. The next 2 weeks become a study in contrasts. Madison continues her normal routine, coffee dates with Ashley, shopping trips, evenings spent curating her future OnlyFans presence. She treats my silence as a tantrum, something to wait out. She tells anyone who'll listen that Tyler's being dramatic about nothing. I overhear a phone call with her mother. Mom, Tyler's being ridiculous, she complains to Linda. I want financial independence and he's acting like I'm cheating on him. It's just photos. It's not even a big deal anymore. Everyone does it. Meanwhile, I operate like a man executing a business plan. I meet with Robert twice more, reviewing paperwork, confirming asset division, scheduling the serving. I move money. From our joint accounts into individual accounts Madison can't touch. Legally permissible since I earned it all. I change passwords on important accounts. I screenshot joint statements showing my sole contributions. I document everything with cold precision. At home, I maintain absolute silence. I don't argue. I don't engage. I sleep in the guest room, eat alone, leave early for work, return late. Madison's frustration grows. She wants a fight she can win, but I give her nothing. She mistakes my silence for weakness. She has no idea it's the silence of a man who's already left mentally, just waiting for the law to catch up. The night before, the serving, I sit in the guest bedroom reviewing the divorce petition one final time. Every detail is perfect. Every asset accounted for. Every loophole closed. No alimony. 5-year marriage where she hasn't worked for 3 years, but she's young and healthy and capable of working. Clean break. Surgical. I sign the petition, seal it in Robert's envelope, set it on the dresser. Tomorrow, Madison will learn what it costs to dismiss a man who keeps his word. She thought my silence meant surrender. She had no idea I was just waiting for the paperwork. By the time she understood what was happening, it would already be too late to stop it. Saturday morning. I wake at 6:30, earlier than necessary, but I want to be present for this. I make coffee, settle on the couch with SportsCenter, project the image of a normal Saturday morning. Madison's still in bed, probably sleeping. Off another late-night strategy session with her enablers. The doorbell rings at exactly 9:47 a.m. David Lawson, the process server Robert arranged, is punctual. Professional, efficient. Tyler, can you get that? Madison calls from upstairs, voice thick with sleep and irritation. I don't move from the couch. You should probably get it, I call back. Madison groans audibly. I hear her feet hit the floor, the shuffle of slippers on hardwood, the creak of stairs. She appears in my peripheral vision, wrapping a bathrobe around herself, hair messy, face puffy with sleep. She trudges to the door like she's answering yet another package delivery. She swings the door open. Madison Grant? The process server asks professionally. Yes, she responds, confused and slightly annoyed. You've been served, he states, extending the manila envelope with professional courtesy. Madison takes it automatically. Brain not yet engaged, still operating on autopilot. David turns and walks away, job done, already moving toward his next delivery. Madison stares at the envelope like it might explode. She tears it open with growing confusion, unfolds the papers with shaking hands. I watch her face from the couch. Confusion shifting to comprehension. Comprehension shifting to horror. Petition for dissolution of marriage, in bold official text. The papers flutter in her trembling hands. Tyler, she whispers, her voice barely working. What is this? I don't look away from the TV. Exactly what it says, I answer calmly. Long pause. The silence stretches like a held breath. You're divorcing me? She asks in disbelief. Yes, I confirm. The word lands like a judge's gavel. Final. Irreversible. Madison's voice rises, cracking. Over OnlyFans? She screams. Are you serious? I finally turn to face her, and I see the exact moment she understands. My eyes are empty of the warmth she took for granted, devoid of the forgiveness she assumed would always be there, cold as winter morning. You made your choice, I state matter-of-factly. I made mine. The floodgates open. Madison tries everything. Panic, promises, manipulation, tears. The papers scatter around her as she collapses on the couch. We can talk about this. I'll delete the account. I won't do it. Please, Tyler, please, she begs desperately. Too late, I reply without emotion. I didn't think you'd actually leave me, she cries out. The confession hangs in the air. She gambled with our marriage, bet that I'd never call her bluff, that my love made me controllable. She lost. I stand, grab my keys from the hook by the door. Time to leave her alone with the consequences. Tyler, please, she pleads. Don't do this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I pause at the door, deliver my final instruction as her husband. I'm going out, I announce. When I come back, I want you gone. Pack your things and leave. Where am I supposed to go? She asks desperately. The question is genuine. Madison hasn't thought beyond Ashley's cheerleading and the promise of easy money. Reality is hitting like a freight train. That's not my problem anymore, I answer coldly. Madison makes one last attempt, voice breaking completely. Tyler, please, don't do this. I love you. I stop. Turn. Meet her eyes one final time. If you loved me, I tell her with finality, you wouldn't have chosen strangers on the internet over our marriage. I leave. I drive aimlessly for 3 hours, not from indecision, but to give her time to pack and leave without another confrontation. I grab lunch at a sports bar downtown, watch college football, feel nothing but relief, no second thoughts. No regrets, just the clean satisfaction of a decision made and executed. When I return home at 2 p.m., Madison is gone. The house feels lighter, cleaner, like a weight I didn't know I was carrying has been lifted. Her closet is empty, her bathroom products are gone. Her laptop, her makeup, her endless collection of throw pillows, all vanished. She's left her house key on the kitchen counter, the only considerate thing she's done in weeks. I pick it up, drop it in a drawer, exhale fully for the first time in 2 weeks. That evening, my phone explodes. First, texts from Madison, sent from her car. Tyler, please reconsider. I made a mistake. I love you. Please don't throw away our marriage. Then Ashley, how could you kick Madison out with nowhere to go? You're controlling and abusive, and she's better off without you. Block Brittany tries. Madison is devastated. You're destroying her over nothing. This is abuse. Block.Jen. I can't believe you'd abandon your wife like this. She needs support, not abandonment. Block. My phone rings at 8 p.m. Madison's mother, Linda Carter. I respect Linda. She's been good to me, treated me like a son. I answer. Tyler, Madison showed up here crying, Linda says with concern. She told us what happened. She said you're divorcing her because she wanted financial independence. Did she tell you she wanted financial independence by posting naked pictures of herself on OnlyFans? I asked directly. Silence. Long, heavy silence. Linda, I respect you, I continue. I've always respected you. But Madison made her choice. I made mine. This conversation is over. I hang up. The phone rings twice more. Linda again, then Madison. I silence it. By midnight, it's quiet. By Sunday morning, I've changed my number. By Monday, I'm back at work, functioning normally, already mentally moved on. I blocked everyone, changed my number, moved on with my life. Madison wanted independence. She got it. Just not the kind Ashley promised her. Saturday evening, hours after I served her with papers, Madison drives to her childhood home with 2 hastily packed suitcases and mascara-streaked cheeks. She pulls into the driveway of the modest ranch, house where she grew up, where Linda and Tom Carter raised their only daughter, the people she assumes will unconditionally support her, take her side, shelter her while she waits for Tyler to calm down. Linda opens the door, immediately concerned by Madison's appearance. Sweetheart, what happened? She asks with worry. Why do you have suitcases? Madison collapses into explanation between sobs. Tyler's divorcing me, she cries. Over nothing. He's being controlling and unreasonable, and Tom appears behind Linda, arms crossed. Madison's father has never been one for drama or emotional outbursts. Practical man, retired electrician, built his life on hard work and straight talk. Why is he divorcing you, Madison? He asks directly. Madison hesitates. This is the moment she realizes she has to say it out loud to people who aren't Ashley, people who haven't spent months normalizing this decision, people who might not see it as empowerment. I wanted to start an OnlyFans account, she stammers. To make money, to be independent. He freaked out. The words hang in the evening air like a toxic cloud. Linda's expression transforms from maternal concern to something Madison has never seen before. Disgust. Actual disgust at her own daughter. You wanted to do what? Linda asks in horror. Madison tries the same arguments that failed with me. It's not a big deal, Mom, she insists desperately. My friend Ashley does it. It's just photos. It's empowering. Women have been shamed for their sexuality for... Tom cuts her off, voice like ice. Photos of what, Madison? He demands. It's my body. My choice, she argues defiantly. I have the right to, and it's our reputation. Tom's voice rises, something that rarely happens. You want to disgrace yourself online? Fine. But you're not bringing that shame into this house. Madison's world tilts. This isn't how this was supposed to go. Parents are supposed to support their children unconditionally, right? Take their side against unreasonable spouses? Dad, she starts. Get out, he states firmly. The words are final, absolute. What? She gasps. You heard me, he repeats coldly. Get out. You made your choice. Live with it, Madison turns to her mother, desperate. Linda has always been her ally, her soft place to land when the world got tough. Mom, please, she begs. Linda crosses her arms, turns away, voice cold as winter. You should have thought about this before you threw away your marriage for... That, she says with disgust. The door closes in Madison's face. Not slammed, that would imply emotion. Just closed. Final. Done. Madison stands on the porch where she learned to ride a bike, where she posed for prom pictures, where she brought Tyler to meet her parents for the first time. Now she's locked out, disowned, cast out like some kind of pariah. She sits in her car for an hour, crying, calling Ashley. No answer. She calls Brittany. Voicemail. Jen. Voicemail. Finally, Ashley texts back. Girl, your parents kicked you out? That's harsh. You can crash on my couch tonight, but just tonight. Mark isn't cool with long-term guests. Madison drives to Ashley's apartment complex, carries her suitcases up 3 flights of stairs. Ashley answers the door in pajamas, looking uncomfortable, no longer the confident guru who's been pushing Madison toward this decision for months. Hey, so, listen, Ashley says awkwardly. Mark said you can stay tonight, but we really can't do more than that. You understand, right? It's not personal. Madison nods, numb. She sleeps on Ashley's scratchy couch that night, staring at the ceiling. Listening to Ashley and Mark arguing in whispers in the bedroom. I didn't sign up for this. Mark hisses angrily. She's my friend, Ashley whispers back defensively. Your friend who just got divorced for wanting to do exactly what you do, he counters. You think I want that drama in my house? The next morning, Ashley's awkward, distant. So, where are you going to go? She asks uncomfortably. Madison doesn't have an answer. She scrolls Craigslist for rooms to rent, each listing smaller and sadder than the last. Studio apartments with roommates, converted basements, rooms in strangers' houses with shared bathrooms and no overnight guests allowed. Her phone buzzes with a text from Brittany. Hey girl, heard what happened? So sorry, but we can't get involved. Jen and I think it's best if we take a break from hanging out for a while. Hope you understand. The fair-weather friends scatter like roaches when the lights come on. The women who encouraged her, who made this seem normal and empowering, who convinced her that Tyler was being controlling, gone the moment supporting her becomes inconvenient. By Sunday afternoon, Madison is scrolling rental listings on her phone in a McDonald's parking lot, trying to find something she can afford with no job, no references, and no one willing to co-sign. The woman who wanted to be empowered can't even afford a value meal. She thought Ashley was her friend. She learned the difference between enablers and allies. By Sunday night, she was scrolling Craigslist for a room with strangers. By Monday, the woman who wanted to be empowered couldn't even afford dinner. The final divorce decree arrives on a Tuesday morning, delivered with the rest of my mail like any other piece of correspondence. I open it at my kitchen table. The same table where Madison used to scroll through Instagram while I talked about my day. The same table where she announced her OnlyFans plans 2 months ago. I read it once. Marriage dissolved, assets divided as ordered, No alimony, no further obligations. Clean, final. I file it in a folder labeled Legal Documents next to my mortgage papers and insurance policies, then make breakfast like any other Tuesday. My life has settled into a new rhythm. The house feels like home now. Fully mine, no longer a compromise between two different visions. I repainted the living room a color I actually like, bought furniture that serves function over Instagram aesthetics, converted Madison's abandoned craft room into a home gym. The space that once felt like walking on eggshells now feels peaceful. Work is going well. My manager mentioned I seem more focused lately. He's not wrong. I'm up for promotion to senior accounts manager, something that seemed impossible when I was constantly managing Madison's emotional needs and social drama. Turns out I have a lot more energy for career advancement when I'm not tiptoeing around someone else's mood swings. I'm dating again. Her name is Sarah, a physical therapist I met at my gym. 29, employed, ambitious, pays for her own coffee when we go out. We've been seeing each other for 3 weeks. It's early, casual, but promising. Sarah doesn't know about Madison yet beyond I'm divorced. I'll tell her eventually when it matters. For now, I'm just enjoying spending time with someone who respects herself and respects me. Sarah doesn't need constant validation. She doesn't check her phone every 5 minutes. She doesn't compare our dates to other couples' social media posts. She works full-time, has her own goals, contributes to conversations about topics that matter. Revolutionary concept. My co-workers asked about Madison twice in the first month after the divorce. We split, I told them simply. It wasn't working out. No one pushed further. Small blessing of keeping your personal life private, less cleanup when things implode. I don't mention Madison anymore. I don't think about her most days. She's filed under lesson learned in my mental catalog. Not with bitterness, but with the detachment of someone who successfully avoided a worse fate. Sometimes I wonder what our life would have looked like if I'd caved, if I'd accepted her OnlyFans career, if I'd prioritized keeping peace over keeping self-respect. Nothing good? I'm certain. Through a mutual acquaintance, Sarah from our old neighborhood who runs into everyone eventually, I heard about Madison's current situation. She lives in a cramped studio apartment with 2 Craigslist roommates, a college student who parties until 3 a.m. and a woman in her 40s going through her own messy divorce. Madison works part-time at a coffee shop downtown, barely covering her share of rent and utilities. She never launched the OnlyFans account. The fantasy died with our marriage. Turns out posting naked pictures online is less appealing when you're desperate for rent money than when you're living off your husband's salary. Ashley stopped returning her calls after the divorce became final. Apparently, a divorced friend with no money isn't as fun as a married friend with disposable income for shopping trips and expensive lunches. Brittany and Jen distanced themselves quickly. Nobody wants the cautionary tale in their friend group. Nobody wants to be reminded that actions have consequences, that husbands might actually leave, that empowerment without wisdom leads to isolation. The mutual acquaintance, Sarah from our old neighborhood, saw Madison at Target last week. She looked tired, worn, older than 28. She was buying ramen noodles in bulk, store-brand everything, counting exact change at checkout. When Sarah asked how she was doing, Madison replied, "Fine," and excused herself quickly. Sarah told me she seemed embarrassed. I absorbed this information without satisfaction or pity. Just acknowledgement. Madison made a choice. She faced the consequences. That's how life works. I don't need revenge updates or the satisfaction of watching her struggle. I protected my self-respect, my values, and my future. That's the only thing that matters. I deleted Madison's contact information months ago. Changed my number. Blocked her family on social media. I don't need closure, don't need final conversations, don't need to know how her story ends. My story moved on. Some people learn that attention isn't love, and validation isn't value. Madison learned it too late. I learned it just in time.